Hey friends, welcome to another Mike Talk. Welcome to Song and Sword. This is where we proclaim Jesus with the song of grace and sword of truth. Just in case you didn't know, we get that from Psalm 149:6. 149 verse 6 says, the people of God with the high praises of God in their throats and two-edged swords in their hands. In other words, we sing God's praise because of all he's done, his grace. That's the song of grace we sing. We're also in a battle against this world and not flesh and blood, but against principalities and powers, against the evil forces of authority in high places. That's what we're doing. That's why we have the sword of the Spirit, which we're going to talk about today in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. We'll get there in just a minute. Remember, we're going through this book. Don't get tired of it. Don't get tired of me saying it. Destinations. Where is God leading us? And he always leads the people of God through the Word of God to his place. And so that's what we're doing today. As always, text prayer to that number on the screen. We want to pray with you and for you. Check this out, some warm weather gear that's been hibernating for a long time, and now it's finally cooled down a little bit. You get to bring out some of the fall and winter gear, and that's cool. Hope you guys are doing well. By the way, even because my bald head, I broke out the Song and Sword knit hat. So you can get all that stuff at songandsword.com and hit the shop button and find all kinds of Jesus witness wear. And that'd be cool if you guys want to do that. Did I say text prayer to that number on the screen? I can't remember. If I did, then text prayer to that number on the screen. Pray with us every day at 1:49 because we want to lift up Song and Sword and the ministry that God's called us to, if you guys would do that. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12. And this is, as a preacher, a very important verse, one of the verses you memorize to understand what the Word of God does and what the Word of God is all about. Hebrews chapter 4, verse 12 says this, for the Word of God is living and effective, sharper than any double-edged sword, penetrating as far as the separation of soul and spirit, joints and marrow. It is able to judge the thoughts and the intentions of the heart. This word about this word is really powerful. So many things to talk about. And as we just get started on this day, as we get into our first cup of coffee and grab our Bibles, it's important to understand what happens when you open the Word of God. Even what I just said to you, Hebrews 4:12. This is a living word. It's not like I'm reading to you a cool poem or the lyrics from a song or some things that I've been thinking or a text or a tweet that I got. I know it's not tweet, it's X, but I'm old. These words are different because, first of all, they're living. The Word of God is living, and most versions say active. It's effective. It's at work. It's doing something. That's what the Greek word means. When you open the Word of God, even as I just say it, Hebrews 4:12, the Word of God is living and active. It's doing something besides just words falling on your ears. And that's why I believe when I preach on Sundays, one of the things you see me do all the time is I always start the sermon off reading an entire passage, and I go back to reading it over and over and over again. Why? Because it's not my words, it's not my insights, it's not my study that I can show you. It's the Word of the living God that is active. It's alive and it's active. So that's the first thing I want to share with you today. The second thing is that it's penetrating. It's not shallow. It's not a shallow word. It's not superficial. It's not just on the outside. It goes deep. A lot of theologians want to debate whether, what this is talking about. It separates the soul and the spirit. And yes, the soul, suke, and the spirit, pneuma, of a person are different. I think of the soul as the breath of life that God has breathed into all living animals and humans. There's that breath that is from God, and then there's the Spirit that lives forever, and somehow the Word of God separates these two things, okay? Don't lose too much sleep over that. I've told people, don't worry about what's that mean, separates the soul and the spirit. What it means is the same thing because it's set next to joints and marrow. The joints that are in your elbow and the marrow that is in your bone. We're talking about a battle scene where a sword is swung and it cuts all the way through, it just cuts the arm deep. And that's what the Bible does. The Bible is able to penetrate deep into our heart. And why does it want to get deep into our heart all the way in to if there's an in-between the soul and the spirit? Well, it wants to get there so it can judge our thoughts and intentions. The Bible is not just living, it's not just sharp and deep cutting, it is a judge. You've heard people say, especially in this culture, don't judge, you can't judge me, you're not the judge of me. And in one sense, that's correct. I am not the judge of anybody. God has not given me the job to judge other people. But God has given us a judge. And this is the judge. The Word of God is right. The Word of God is true. So anything opposed to this means that whoever it is, me, you, friends, neighbors, culture, is wrong. Because the Word of God cannot be wrong. It cannot fail. It cannot be outdated. If it is, then everything in it's wrong. Okay? The Bible is the judge. And it comes and says, not only does it judge actions, it gets into my heart and judges my thoughts and my intentions. It's a very, very personal, invading thing, the Word of God. It's like a knife. It's like a sword that cuts all the way through, deep as you can imagine, gets right to the heart of the matter. And if you don't want to change and you don't want to be judged and you don't want to grow in your faith, well, the best thing to do is not read the Bible. But if you do, this book, this sacred book that contains the Word of God, living Word Jesus, and His written Word, the Bible, it will change you. And that's why we do this every day, and I'm honored to be a part of it with you, and I hope that you guys have a great day. Peace.